You know, the game between these two teams yesterday was a 46-minute long game. I'm looking to see some shakeup between both teams. You know, in the best of three, I'm assuming each team will probably want to try and grab a win as fast as possible, just to keep their
Absolutely.
sanity in check.
Yeah, you mentioned the 46 minutes. I also had that note as well. That was the longest game in the round robin portion of the tournament. And I know Guy Confetti took the MVP of that game, but also Monty. They were. I checked like 10 minutes after the voting was technically closed, and Monty had actually tied an MVP. So they pretty well distributed talent level and skill level based off of that game.
Absolutely. We're going to see Monty catching more bans. Always terrifying when the game goes past 25 minutes and that guy's still alive on a hyper carry. You're seeing the Asol and the Zac getting bans. I think we're going to see more bans all day on both those characters. Zac has just been a huge threat. Am I incorrect in saying that he's been pick banned every single game this tournament?
I'd have to imagine you're correct on that. He's just such a strong champ that hardly needs any gold to be effective, especially when you have a full team of 5 communicating with each other.
Absolutely. Hmm. We see the Amumu picked up for El Mexicano. Champion also favored by a B fan here, so very curious to see if that was something they were trying to pick. We're going to see what this goes into. Pretty much every team, I think, in all of our drafts have been opting for jungle and bot lane getting picked in the first round.
Yeah, and
Don't think we'll be
honestly,
straying from that.
I kind of like the Misfortune pickup just because with the Namumu first pick, I'd have to imagine MDE was probably trying to set up for like a team fight oriented comp with the Namumu Misfortune themselves. So looks like there's some counterplay already, possibly.
Absolutely. We are seeing the chat bump bunch accurately calling it out. Amumu first pick, very bold in the jungle. If anyone's played Amumu jungle, you ever get someone in your jungle level 3, it's a nightmare. The 2 bandage tosses have helped him a lot in the early game, but I do think it's still just a nightmare to get invaded, especially if your solo laners don't have prio.
Also, Amumu does clear grubs extremely fast, so possibly we might see Amumu playing top side a lot of the map. Maybe put some pressure on Subsonic top. Then we do have Zeri as well. Monty is a big Zeri enjoyer. He does love going to late game and just running everyone down, so seems to be a comfort pick for him.
I think this is going to be a very fun bot lane to watch, the Zeri Thresh combo.
Absolutely. We've seen Bo Gumfrey making big plays the entire week. We've seen some incredible flash lane on ult, so I think seeing him on a hook champ will be very interesting. Nautilus Thresh, kind of a wash there in the bot lane, no counters, just gonna be an outplay potential. Let's see
And we
what
do get the
we're looking for.
Mordekaiser out of Demido.
Oh, so we're predicting Mordekaiser jungle here.
I think so. And you know, honestly, it could be a pretty good pick if he can just pull the Amumu out of every fight. So the Amumu ult's just pretty necessary for these MDE team fights, is what I'm assuming.
Smart Ori ban, especially against the Amumu. That those two ults together are devastating for any team to go against.
Absolutely. We saw yesterday Luke's Orianna. I don't think I've ever seen him play Orianna until that day, but my God, was he playing very clean, really good ults, really good laning phase.
Got the Vex ban for James. James, I'm not too certain on his champ pool mid, but I'd have to imagine he probably leans towards Ari Annie this game, which I think
Yeah,
both would be very good.
I want to see the Jet Ari. He popped off yesterday on it. He had some games where he was getting some unlucky 1v1s and some extra attention from the jungle. So I think seeing an Ari pick nice and safe and huge potential to make plays, you get into some nice engage and that charm, his all makes it really safe to pick in team fights.
The Nasus ban is interesting.
Interesting.
I wouldn't have expected Subsonic to play Nasus, but I mean, if he were to play it and these games go late, it would just be an absolute menace.
Absolutely. I'm curious maybe if that means Bert's looking to pick something that's not as strong in lane, maybe not something that's going to be picking fights in lane, but he wants to scale up. And if you're in one of those matchups against Nasus, historically in this Discord, Nasus is just an issue. After your 40 minutes, no one's denied his CS enough By the time he's a problem, it's too late.
I really do like the Swain pick, actually, assuming that's Jet mid playing that. Just because MDE at this point doesn't have a ton of damage outside of the Zeri. Well, now we do have Corki, which at some point Corki will be able to provide damage. And we
The
are
Teemo
hovering
hover.
Teemo.
Oh, I actually love the Teemo pick.
Lock it in, you coward.
Or
We also
thinking about
saw the Teemo doing work yesterday. I think it was Johnny's Teemo, which was actually able to deny some damage on the 80 carries, and we're switching to Orin. So, like I was kind of thinking, he's probably gonna be scaling up. They want the ornaments on their characters. I think we're gonna see the Corki mid, which would be nice scaling into the mid late game. That damage and the pokes gonna be crazy. But the Alawi would be so cool for some fights. Honestly, this Alawi 2v1s you gank at the wrong time with the Mumu.
Yeah, this might actually be tough for the Amumu because he's just gonna want to get in there and just ult. But imagine jumping into both an Alawi and a Swain.
Yeah,
That's
not to mention
pretty awful.
Amumu engages, Mordekaiser ults him, and now you have 4 people trying to jump into an Alawi, or now you're just going to guarantee an extra person. As we know, Alawi ult scales with each person hit by it, so an extra target is just extra tentacles, extra damage for him.
Yeah,
I think both teams have drafted well.
What are your thoughts, Phil? Who do you think won the draft here?
That is a tough call, but I think I might have to give it just on technicality to MDE. I think they've drafted a more comprehensive team fight comp, and I think they're going to scale really nicely together in the mid to late game. But I think GW still has a really solid comp, and I think their team fights are very scary. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think MDE's comp might be a little harder to execute. Pretty much relies on Amumu interrupting and misfortune ult, but I think with that said, I'd probably have to give a slight edge to guaranteed winners here. But again, like if Zeri can get online and Amumu can interrupt MF ults, I think MDE might be able to pull away with it.
Very curious how the early to mid game is going to go. If any team has a lead, I think it's going to kind of seal it in the team fights. But both teams here are drafting for the team fight in the mid to late game. So I think we're going to be scaling up. We're going to see a low kill game with some high impact fights after that 25-minute mark.
How do teams typically approach a 3-game series like this? For game 1, are you just trying to get into the rhythm of things? Are you trying to make a statement right away? Do you guys think either that is happening here, or how does that affect kind of going into these tournament situations?
I think in the best of 3, you have more leeway game 1 to make riskier picks, seeing as Demita went Mordekaiser jungle. But again, like I think the Mordekaiser was actually a really solid pick into this team. And if they are able to get a win here, they have a lot of flexibility then with games 2 and 3 to play whatever else they want.
Absolutely. I love the best 3 locking in something you haven't drafted, maybe something you haven't practiced as much, but it works with your team comp. There's just less risk. And I also think, losing game 1, not a huge deal, but then having games 2 and 3, if you have a chance to win that second game, you have the momentum going to the third game. But, it's always nice to get that first win as soon as possible to give yourself some chance to get some more drafts in. I think both teams are looking to get that early win. I'm very curious to see how these comps change from here moving to the next games. I will say I was not considering it, but with this Mordekaiser, I think if Zeri is the one that gets especially online, just being able to deny that, just having a denial button set on whoever is super far ahead is going to be huge for them here. So very curious to see how this works out.
Yeah, I have to imagine Demita goes Ghost here on Mordekaiser, so I'm kind of interested to see the impact he has early game with these ganks and Ghost available.
And something that we didn't mention earlier, so MDE did have they were the top seed in this, so they did opt to pick first on that bot side. That's typically what we see from a lot of teams in this tournament, but just something to kind of note that they chose that this time around. and we are just about to get going here.
Let's see it. I am anticipating a 5-point defense from both teams. No one's really trying to invade in these series, but I do think, when you're in this series, I also think First Blood sucks. But at the end of the day, the death timers are so short. If you are not behind an XP, it doesn't really matter that much if you're farming correctly.
And funnily enough, too, I feel like a lot of the team comps that have been drafted throughout Yoshi's do actually have champs that can do like a nice level 1 invade, but giving up that first blood gold is a lot of gold.
It is, absolutely. You'd hate to lose because of it. You hate to lose priority in a lane that you needed to stay even in. And let's see. Everyone walking out, looking like a 5-point defense. Perfect mirror image across the lanes here. No one's taking any risks. We're even seeing Monty opting to burn his first ward. That 80 carry ward, usually not as important. I think we're going to see John setting up here. One thing I think is important on Alawi, if we can pan up to the Alawi screen actually, we're seeing that he's setting up tentacles on 2 spots, one at the corner edge and one in the bush and top. And when you're able to do this bush, his pass is gonna reset, probably place one right in that bush. There it goes. This has so much pressure to the lane, so then you can walk up and W the minions and actually hit the lane and force an early push to get level 2. And we are seeing a cull mid lane and a cull bot lane out of MDE. So they're actually not trying to scrap here. I'm very curious. I don't think I see the cull as much on Corki, especially.
Yeah, I know he is a very gold-reliant champ to get online. So yeah, I just want to see how the laning goes between Swain, because I feel like Swain's going to be able to poke him quite a bit. Mordekaiser is starting topside, probably going to try and make his way bot for a gank.
Absolutely. We see that MF and Nautilus taking bat and going in with the Alawi already. Ooh, big pull. Jet's going to get maybe an electrocute off here. I'm not sure what runes he's running. Oh, he's running Conquer. Never mind. And we're seeing that huge trade from Sub, and immediately with a passive down, just instantly replace that tentacle, and he's actually hitting that corner one as well. So I think we have to see Bert take down some of those tentacles to win some of these trades. Big hook from Bo, but both level 1 still, so let it come out of that one. And Sub, level 2 first, probably going to get an all-in here. Misses that E, very important ability. That's kind of how you win the Alawi matchup is in a nutshell. You just got to hit that E, and he's got huge tentacle steps. So I really want to see Bert taking out these tentacles. And this could be a first blood. There it is, first flash
Already
going.
blowing flash. Honestly, a lot of trading between this top lane right now. Subsonic still has flash, but only about 150 HP.
I'm looking for that E, not quite. I just realized I was watching the actual Twitch stream, so I was a second behind. We're back. We're live now.
I was just checking that. I was like, that was a little delayed, but I'll give it to you.
I heard the flash and then I saw it. I was like, wait, that can't be right.
So I do want to point out this Mordekaiser clear is actually pretty fast. So it looks like he'll probably be the first jungler active on the map here.
Absolutely. Already done with that blue buff. Amumu is still finishing it up, and he's onto that Gromp. Amumu finishing blue buff, queuing with the Gromp now. And there's Bert clearing up the tentacles, getting a lot of value out of that. And big poke out of Jet here. Do you want to be cognizant of using those abilities mid lane if you want to push? Great opportunity to harass and push. And we're seeing an early ghost by Mordekaiser going and flash it in. Oh, and catches Monty after
Great
his flash.
push by Nautilus there.
He's got the lantern, but there's just no way to click it. They're both on top of it. Excellent play from Guaranteed Winners. Do you want to shut down that Zarya early? Huge trade from Jet here, and oh my god, Guaranteed Winners just went online across the entire map. We got 2 people looking for a gank top lane right now, potentially. And looks like Amumu is pinging is gonna go to the Golems. How do you feel about this one, Fife?
No, I feel like if you're gonna gank Alawi, you gotta do it now, especially when he's just running past the wave trying to get the storm.
Absolutely, and unlucky. Oh, excellent flash, and honestly, I think John can turn this. I think he gets some tentacles, and if he gets, unfortunately, getting queued underneath with no tentacles, he's going to not do a ton of damage here. But I think if he gets into the second bush and get another W off, especially in this minion wave, if he gets 2 tentacles to hit here. Oh, and just not quite enough damage with so much burst. And Domidu walking mid, gets the root, another pull, stops the W. Excellent play forcing the flash.
This
And we are going to see
BC out
that.
of guaranteed winners is just making these lanes so hard to play for MDE.
Absolutely, and Domidu securing the push. I think that's going to be a full push, actually, but I think it's going to start slow pushing into James here, so that's exactly what we want to see. He's going to reset, not have to teleport, which he doesn't even have. He does have the teleport disadvantage, but Corki's just going to push that, and Swain should be back in time to catch that gold. And Alawi doing Alawi thing. She just wants to hit your face as much as possible, make it really hard for you to walk up. She doesn't mind bouncing the wave over and over. She has really good wave clear.
I am already noticing the farm gap in bot lane here. Even with the kill on Zeri, she's still up about 13 farm, and ooh, great hook out of
What
Thresh there.
a chain of CC. That Zeri is out for blood. You definitely don't want her getting ahead. She is just extending that gold lead already. Especially with that kill bot lane going to the Mordekaiser, I think it's really good for your tempo across the map. BFM looking at grubs already with it, while Mumu's taking that early dragon. And looking like that bot lane might roam up to help and secure that quickly. I think it's really important to be able to have that prio, because an early drag is awesome. But if you're just the jungler by yourself, you're wasting so much time in the map if you're not being able to get that quickly.
Yeah, and especially so in these 5v5s, or just like any team-oriented game, I feel like dragons just have that much more like impact on the game, just because it's like an overall team buff. So
Absolutely. Huge E out of Subsonic. Bird gonna struggle to farm and minions on the tower here. Picking off some tentacles spawning behind. Looks like he killed that passive there. And Domidu looking for the regank. Huge initiation from Jet. Maybe a little early on that ghost. I think you sold a little bit. I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen if you ghost immediately. But I think they might win a 2v2 here. Jet just hit 6. I think you got to commit here really hard. And ECC is huge. Pull. Another pull maybe.
Mumu.
Oh.
There's no flash, but just not enough damage yet to secure a kill.
I like the look. They came out with strong tempo immediately and are keeping it up. Ethan getting that blasting one on the first back. That's a crazy first buy.
Yeah,
Cinder released amount of gold to the Amumu as well with that Cinder.
I think Mordekaiser rushes Rylai's. I'm not too certain, but
Oh,
great hook out of
right
Thresh.
around that cannon minion, and looking like not a ton of harass, but creating tons of space, lots of pressure. You hate to be an AD carry having to dodge hooks while trying to get your CS up, especially into a Monty lane who's going to be hitting all those CS and forcing you to fight for any CS you're going to take.
Yeah, that was a pretty great trade on guaranteed winner support, but Zeri is 6 now, so they're going to have to play pretty passively for a little bit.
Absolutely. Level 4 and 5, no men on MF. I don't think he has any kill pressure here, but he gets the pull. I think he can pop it. But El Mexicano sitting in that tri bush. We have a 3-on-3 down here, and they don't know, but they're about to find out. They still don't know he's there, and that must be enough damage to pop it. And now it's a 2v3, and I think they turn here. Zeri with the ult pop. Zeri with the ghost.
It's 6, but she is
Ooh, and
oh no, this is
great flash heal, I think. I think you gotta get her tower. An unfortunate creep block there, and that's gonna be enough to do it. Great kiting from Mount right there. Carter getting
great
very
dash over
unlucky.
the wall.
True. I think Carter got creep block, which denied him going straight into the tower, which is unlucky. Now Bird's gonna have to bob and weave. Honestly, I think you tank the first one there to force him off tower. You're gonna pull aggro out that way. And then you clear the next 2. But this is an oppressive lane, but Orin is content just farming back up. We do see Orin having to go with the anti-heal immediately. I'm not sure if Alawi has a ton of healing. Can we see how much anti-heal that's supplied so far? Maybe I might be able to see that.
Anti-healing on 6.
Yeah, I think with the way the lane is, if I was Orin, I'd probably honestly want to rush the steel-plated caps first, just because I don't think there's going to be ever a point where Alawi's going to ult. She's just going to keep harassing in lane.
Agreed. And I am always a huge proponent for, in a lot of situations, especially depending on the character, I think you're better off building more damage. Do more damage, and there's just not a ton of healing to apply, but John's way pushed up. He has ult on cooldown. We have the Orin coming in, and this might be a quick pickup. Good flash from him. He does not have the ulti, so great gank from Mets recognizing he's just overextended there. John getting caught with no vision. I think he might have had this ward on cooldown, so great timing by Mets there.
Something to keep an eye on here. Probably like the next, I want to say, 4 to 5 minutes. Both the mid laner and bot laner will have finished their calls for MDE, so Should be a decent gold swing for them too. They're already up 1k here.
Oh, and I don't think Jinju can be there if he gets hit by a hook. That is curtains, and nice job staying out. I think they got to tank these minions, and they should stay there. I don't think Zeri has a great time breaking this free just from where they are, but it's looking like they're going to let them out of the minions a bit more. And Dummy walking mid again. Has the wards, he's going to clear that and probably circle back later. All right, be aware of the hook there. Great dodge. Been good use of MF passive. And that MDE bot lane is just harassing Guaranteed Winners bot lane. No free farm, even under turret.
Yeah, I think at this point what I want to see out of Guaranteed Winners is fighting over grubs, because Lowy has a ton of pressure topside. Corki's still somewhat weak. Only has a tier and a longsword and the Caulfield's hammer, but the other kill going to Zeri. MD's pretty happy with that.
Absolutely not what we want to see. I think if you're Mordecai, you're going to start camping out bot lane and playing around dragons. You got to try to keep that prior up. I like him getting grubs to give Lowy some pressure top lane, but I think we're going to have to start circling for this next dragon, or potentially the third dragon. Really need help bot lane.
It was a crazy hook too, by the way.
For it.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy hook to secure that kill bot lane
Absolutely.
there.
Absolutely. And we're seeing that range difference here between the Swain and the Corki. Corki having that ult up all the time now. He's got the mana immune stacking up, so he's going to be able to send those all day. So I think that's really tough. We saw Guy Confetti use that in other picks the other day with the Kog'Maw. And when you outrange somebody, especially on a short range champ like Swain, you're in trouble. And opting to take a tower shot to try to get that hook so close and not quite getting the pick. I like seeing the Thresh roams, especially when you're relying on Zeri to get solo farm. He's got the Moby Boots built, so he's looking to make plays across the map with the skull that he's created. You're seeing Subsonic kind of stuck, and I mean, all of his trade patterns kind of push the wave, and he's ulting. This could be a kill. He's got to get one more W, get some fat damage on a bird. Walking into more of his tentacles, get some help. And look at them hit with that. Just slapping that Orange Ghost.
Yeah.
And that's
looks like on this next
gone.
wave here, Lowy's going to take first tower, which is good for Guaranteed Winners. Actually, he doesn't have wards, so he might. I'd expect him to stay for it.
And just checking back in on that farm, we've got a huge farm lead in the top lane, but otherwise, pretty much across the map in the lanes, big leads on MDE. Defan doing a great job keeping up on that farming. Amumu at this point in the game farms very fast, so keeping up with him is very important. Both junglers completing their first item, but with Mets to the slight edge, I think finishing the 2-2 boots is really slick here, especially with the different kinds of CC they have. I think getting out of there a fraction of a second earlier makes it tough to guarantee your combos and actually throws people off quite often.
Well, Carter is getting good damage in on Zeri here, but now we see Lowy taking top tower in a 1v2. This could go either way, but Lowy doesn't have ult yet. Oh, the CC is just too much to handle.
Now we're seeing some of that anti-heal coming into play. And Bfan instantly goes down cooldown looking for this area. They're going to settle for the threshold and get him on his full. Great movement from Ben. Excellent denial of that CC. And huge pop, huge ult, and just barely. Now, can they get out? Carter, no, he got flash and heal. Unlucky. I think he's got to flash preemptively, but I'm not sure if he saw that. What is in that bush? I don't even know what's happening right there.
Wait, this Mordekaiser is...
Mordekaiser is smurfing. Oh, 1Q could do it though, but Monty committing, dodging the hook, and gets the triple, I think. And we're seeing Jet push that, trying to get some farm out of that roam. Excellent teleport from Guy Confetti there. I think that was worth it.
Yeah, that was very back and forth there. That was honestly a very aggressive play for Zeri to go back over the wall, but You know, seeing how far ahead he is actually paid off well for him.
If that Nautilus anticipates, I think it might have a chance to hook him immediately, but that's a very tough play to make, and Gabe was absolutely gaming there. Great play by Zeri. 500 gold shutdown on him. Barely made it out, too. One more shot of that MFR, and that is over for him.
Yeah.
And we're seeing both lanes that opted for Cull getting quite ahead in the gold lead already. Almost a 1k lead in the mid lane, and even more in the bot lane. Is that 1.2? 2.2 almost? That's crazy.
And MDE is pinning Dragon here. I'd have to assume guaranteed winners probably want to fight this.
Defense back. Yep, I like this. Hooks on CD. CC on the Monty. CC, airborne, knocked up. Airborne, hooked in, as a shutdown to the Mordekaiser. Excellent CC. John, you know what? I'll say it. Even if John dies here, he's creating so much space on this map right now. Mid lane should be able to push out to tower. Bot lane should be able to stick around for Dragon. And how long do we have on that Dragon timer? I think it's about 45. Oh, I see in the lower right corner now.
Yep, 20 or so here.
And they're going to opt to reset. They don't have vision advantage, and I think they just got a chunk of gold, so I should be fine. But I think they're going to have to contest over it now. But huge pick, getting that shutdown off of Monty. I think it's important to not let him just farm away, get away with this game. I think I'm enjoying seeing the Mordekaiser focus his attention to bot lane. Top lane's getting tons of attention, but I think despite the 1-4 scoreline, I think John's doing a great job with farm and getting that first tower. And this allows to be a threat.
I do want to point out, MDE only has one ult up for this Dragon, so if I was guaranteed winners, I'd probably be inclined to try and snag this drag.
Absolutely. One thing I love to see more people using these cooldown timers, especially on summoners. It's such a big difference. James, full summoners ready, and they might be opting for a pick here instead of starting. They don't want to engage. Monty alone in the mid lane.
Might be waiting for the Lowy TP, which just came up.
Lowy ult probably within 10 seconds based on a little timer there, and Death Squad clearing out those wards. I think we want to see that Nautilus group up.
Creating pressure with the Rift here.
Yep, I like this play, and looking like they're going to opt to give him the third drag. And you know what? I think I would have liked to see them contest this one.
Same here, but you know, they did just get the shutdown on Zeri. Maybe they just want to accumulate a little more gold, finish up the second item on each of their raid bosses before they fight again.
Fair enough. It will be interesting. It does make the next dragon kind of do or die. You'd really hate to see them securing that ocean. What is it, soul?
It's Mountain Soul, or is that Mountain Drag? Mountain Soul.
Mountain Soul. So I think that Mountain Soul in the first 20 minutes of the game, you really don't want to have that kind of edge in the stats. But it also means a very, very early Elder Drake. So as we've seen in games yesterday, that can be a huge pivotal turning point. And big pickup from John. Lots of harass. He's just creating space, and B-Fan recognizing that he's about to get ganked again, so I think he's going to be ready for the counter gank. There's a 2v3 right now on the top side.
B-Fan's in a precarious spot here. It's
4v3. Oh, it's our two raid bosses. Johnny gets a big arm. He gets knocked. They just perfectly CC'd him, and honestly, if he lives any longer, that's a scary, scary ultimate. Look at all those tentacles ready to rip.
Yeah. Lowy opting to go for Hull Breaker. I think guaranteed winners kind of recognize that they've been losing the team fights a little bit here, so maybe trying to just put some focus on this Lowy split push to accumulate some more gold.
Mexicano maybe looking to make a play here. I don't think he has full vision of B-Fan there. He's up a level. We have two there. Monty walking over. I don't think it's worth dying for. If he gets hooked there, it's trouble. And nice just half out. We're seeing Subsonic being put on tower duty. I like this. Get some gold across the map. He's going to take towers quick, and I don't think anyone can 1v1 him.
Yeah, I don't think Corki at any point will be able to deal with this Alawi, just with the nature of the Corki build. No,
Absolutely.
Even he can kind of poke Alawi, but if she just lands a grapple on him, she'll just get all her health back.
And I wish we had a resident Corki expert, but he's unfortunately in the game. Do you see Corki building Leandries very often? I feel like he does not in his current build, which would be the only item I think that could really start doing damage to this Alawi.
I have no idea.
He is kind of just running around the map now, looking for picking enemies lanes.
Absolutely. We're seeing, you know, oh, is Jet's gonna get away here? Maybe, I don't know.
Right,
And
I
we are
maybe
wrong.
lied about the Lowy Corki, but
It is tough. If he kites it perfectly, I suppose, it might be tough, especially if you miss an E. It's gonna be trouble to keep up on that damage, but all in, I'd have to imagine a lot of people take it. But MDE taking their third tower of the game, really getting a hold and extending this gold lead all the way up to 5K.
yeah, this is looking pretty rough for guaranteed winners at this point. Might just have to be a Hail Mary team fight at this Dragon Soul here for them to get back in the game.
An unfortunate amount of gold having to swing before this next drag. Especially not what you want to see when you're in that fourth dragon. I will say we have not had Swain be at one of these big fights. Corki's been utilizing teleport a lot. So not being able to follow has been a little bit tough, but I think once we get the Swain in these fights, he's got a solid amount of gold on him. He's got that Malignance finish. It's a big power spike for him. So maybe that could be the difference, and maybe a big Mordekaiser ult is going to be what we can see win these next team fights, because we've not really seen much of a big impact Mordekaiser ult in the big 5v5.
Yeah, Monty's sitting at 2.5 items compared to Misfortune's 1.5. I'd have to assume for a fight to go well for guaranteed winners, they need Mordekaiser to ult the Zeri, and then probably like a hook on the Corki.
Well, they're looking for that right now. And we just see heal blown from Mike Bull win, so MF down that heal. But big pressure here from Subsonic. We're seeing kind of how these fights might turn is essentially he's just gonna whittle down that Alawi until it's free to engage.
Guaranteed winners do have pressure on the drag here, but Alawi not having TP,
Alawi ulti
while
mode.
Corki does.
Oh, never mind. Those are regular tentacles. That's crazy. What a setup. And they're pinching. Could be a big play here. Bogart a little far up. They're dancing over that dragon. That orange on a strong flank, and that's just looking tough. He's in tower range, which is crazy. Yeah. Unlucky. Excellent dodge from everybody. And can this Corki finishing teleport? This is a 5v4. I think you gotta recognize that. You might have to get out. This can be a 5v4 quickly. Corki opting to back instead of teleporting. Wants to spend his gold.
Oh, is low. Got the Nautilus Assault on Zeri.
You still have the MFR, but
wow.
huge pick from the Amumu. And Guy Confetti teleporting now, and that is looking tough. Now in the
honestly, that was an insane turn out of the Amumu there. That just completely swung the fight.
Absolutely. And bottom of time for Guy Confetti. Might have been late, but instead he was able to reset, buy, and teleport into the fight. Looking like they're going to opt to go for inhib turret here. They've got a solid 20 seconds until the entire team is up, and I don't think John is the way clear. John does not have all, otherwise it might be even a kill pressure here for him, but he's just getting whittled down. That Alawi range difference is really having trouble. They're able to force him out the Zeri Corki poke.
Yeah. So save in him, but MD getting soul here is pretty big.
Subsonic steadily increasing that farm gap. We are seeing him stay in a great spot with farm, but an awesome intro to this game, but they sent so much pressure top after creating some momentum bot lane that it's kind of tough to keep going. He's taken oh, he does not got in that bot tower, so I think we'll see Subsonic looking for these towers, get some of that bounty on the team. And you know what? If you're guaranteed winners here, you want this one to last 50 minutes. You want to have everyone reach full build if you really want to expect to come back from this one. Because there's such a big gold lead. Gold lead is gonna be very tough to come back.
I seen yesterday too. The game can flip at a nice Elder fight or a nice fight before Elder. So
Absolutely, and I do
I
still
wouldn't.
think. Oh god.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't say it's over, but it is pretty doomed.
Agreed on that analysis. And do they even know? They don't seem to even know they're gonna keep doing it right here. And now I'm curious, can we get an update on that? Oh, maybe a big steal from B-Fan. Smite fight. Oh, both junglers smiting early. And Jet's actually in a great position here. I actually love this from him. Oh,
wow.
We gotta get the. You gotta kill Monty. You gotta kill Monty. And now that's almost worth it. He's still healing. And this could be a win from Subsonic, taking down 2 Barons off that team. The Sideliner and their AD carry. And can we get... Oh, is Alawi have it? I don't think Warren gets out.
I think Alawi can catch up to him, but looks like they're going to shove it in mid with that wave.
Absolutely. I think they're going to get that inhib. And B-Fan should be up to deny it. Burke going to eat tower shots here. Does he even care? He does not.
Oh my god.
He almost got in. John going to reset. I think they just have to hold towers here. If you die here, I think you lose the game, so you just got to play a little conservative. And you know
No,
what?
I honestly liked that Hail Mary attempt at Baron. I think out of guaranteed winners, they had more damage than I anticipated. They actually were able to kill Zeri there.
Yep, and you're seeing that Swain finishing Leandri's and the Malignance. That's going to be a huge teamfight presence. I think maybe third item we see is Zonia's to get some armor, live a little bit longer against that Zeri, and also give you the opportunity to get super deep, maybe even flash deep into a team fight, and then immediately Zonia's to get that big pop.
Yeah, one thing about that fight too, I don't quite remember how the build-up went exactly, but that Nautilus had ult at the very end when it was just him alive. If that lands earlier in the fight, when people can actually follow up on it, maybe things go a little bit differently.
I was in a very precarious spot there. You know, with this Alawi bot, I kind of want to see MD just send everyone else top. I think Orn can just hold. It looks like Thresh and Amumu are coming bot.
And a little early ulti from that Subsonic. Try to stay alive, but
Just so
that's
much
tough.
CC, yeah.
But he's creating tons of space. This might be a big opportunity for a pick for his team still. And I think we're seeing some issues with not having really a dedicated front line. B-Fan is tanky, but it's mostly damage items, so he doesn't have any of those resists that are going to actually make that health count. So they're having some issues getting poked out by this Quirky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point in the game, I think the weakness of the Mordekaiser, just as a champ itself, is kind of showing where they don't really have any way to get a pick just because, you know, Corki and Zeri are just so mobile now.
Absolutely, and you know what? He's tanky, but as you're seeing, that health is disappearing quick without very many resists. Okay, I'm now understanding the visuals for happening. I was so confused how that Mordekaiser ult was looking.
Yeah.
Those pillars appear as Mordar. And Subsonic here in time.
Good redemption out of MD there.
You know, it just really feels like the momentum was very even in DW's favor at the beginning of this game. But as soon as that Zeri got a bunch of kills bot lane, they were able to move that lead all over the map.
Yeah, I think the game fell apart where, you know, when the pressure was being applied to top lane against this Alawi, I think the guaranteed winners bot lane just needed to stay alive. Instead, this area was able to get ahead and still
Huge
absorb
ult
the
from
back
Subsonic,
pressure.
though. Lots of damage coming down. Swain coming in. They might be able to hold the base here. Big pop on the ultimate. But that Zeri's kiting perfectly. Look at that micro. And jumps in. You gotta jump on him now. He's deep. And it's looking like it. B-Fans got to turn and fight.
Yeah, a little bit of Zeri game for the end here.
Absolutely. And Mordekaiser opting to reset. Can't really deny that. And that's a clean win from MDE. The Moon is in trouble, folks.
Yep.
Third place Moon, at least.
And
Alright.
look at that damage out of Alawi. Incredible damage. The rest of the team having a tough time getting started.
Yeah, honestly, I think guaranteed winners just need to regroup here. Maybe kind of just like lock in on the laning phase, and I think if they can stabilize the laning phase, I think they can coast into the team fights a lot easier.
Absolutely. I thought they did a great job. I think this is a team you have to bring tons of momentum into, and I think that B-Fan's aggressive first clear really catered to that, but unfortunately not able to keep up that momentum.